it's supposed to feel.
Hello and welcome to another test. So today is going to be the battle of two free AVs. We're going to do Avast 1 versus Windows Defender. On the left, we've got Avast. We're going to just have a look at the settings quickly. Okay, so for File Shield, we're going to have resolve automatically. We're going to do for POPs also resolve automatically. Under Advanced, we're going to use analyze unrecognized files, rootkits, etc. There's an exception for the script because Avast does interfere with the script sometimes. For Web Shield, these are the settings for Web Shield. Okay, ransomware protection. These are the 5 documents that we added. We're going to use smart mode. I know sometimes you can use the strict mode for extensive testing, but we are just going to use smart mode for this test firewall. And that's about it. The rest is for the paid version of Avast. So Avast, nice and quick. On Defender, we are going to use the Defender UI to tweak Defender a bit. So this is just Defender, as you guys know. So these are the settings for Defender. Okay, we have core isolation enabled as well. So on the UI side for Defender, you can have a quick glance at the settings that we have here. Feel free to pause the video if you want to look more intensively into the settings, but I'm just going to quickly go through them. And that's that for the Defender UI. So I'm quickly going to disable the protection, get the malware extracted so that we can start the test. Okay, now that we've got all the samples extracted, I think the test is ready. So let's just quickly make sure that these programs are up to date. Okay, Avast is up to date. Just doing a program update while we wait for Windows Defender. Okay, Avast is up to date. So while we wait for Defender, the sample count is 2,330, so quite a number of samples. This test will take some time, but we'll hopefully it won't take too long. So we've got various samples from false positives to any types of Trojans, fileless malware. We also got Office documents and things like that. We've got the same amount on the Windows Defender. Okay, let's quickly wait for Defender to do the updates and then we'll start the test. Okay, so Windows Defender is up to date. We're going to enable the shields. And it looks like Defender might already be enabled. Okay, so Defender did actually enable itself again. As you can see, it is green. Okay, so it seems like Defender is already. Avast is already detecting the samples. So we're going to start with the website test. Okay, so files are being downloaded and opened on Defender. We're just waiting for Avast to launch the browser. Okay, so it seems like the test for the Defender is done. So let's see how many sites have opened up. Okay, that's gonna say we want to keep this. Let's see what happens. I think it does look like Defender stopped most of the the websites to open. I'm not sure what's happening on the Avast machine. Let's just quickly try again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so on the Defender, it seems like we've got these two files that downloaded. I didn't show this before, but you can see that the Defender machine is clean, and the same goes for the Avast machine. Feel free to pause it. Yeah, so Avast is opening up pages. Seems like this one opened up. The other ones aren't doing anything. We don't see any Avast block pages, but I think this is Avast terminating the connections. Yep, looks like it. We'll close all of that. Okay, so looks like Avast did better than Windows Defender on this one. Nothing downloaded, and I think only one of the websites opened, where on Defender a couple of them opened. I'll execute these samples as well. Let's see if they can actually do something. Okay, so it looks like that is a log me in that can be used as a rat. Okay, so log me in as installed. Now we're going to do with malware samples. Okay, we're going to arrange it. Okay, as you can see, we have some activity on Avast and Defender. Okay, guys, so I'm going to deal with this. I just want to reduce the playback time so you guys can see how this test is conducted. If there's anything interesting or weird, I'll point it out. But for now, I'm just going to attend to these samples, and hopefully the test doesn't take too long. It's quite a number of samples. And then I'll show you guys the result once the test is done. Okay, guys, so I think I'm going to cut this test a tad short. I see if you look at Defender, I think you can most probably see why. So for Avast, we're just going to look at our results quickly. Okay, now with Defender, it was getting a tad slow, and then it rebooted on its own due to some stop error code, which I couldn't really see. It was too fast. It then rebooted, and then ever since it reboots, it does log into the user profile, but it gives us the black screen, and it just basically stays there. And then eventually this error message does come up. I've tried to reboot it and shut down it multiple times, but this is as far as Defender can go. So I just thought there's no point in executing all the malware. I think I'm just going to stop Avast more or less at the same time. They did execute fairly the same number of malware, so I just thought I'm going to stop the test. Now with Avast, we do have this Crystal PDF that installed the driver pack solutions, and then a couple of log me in unattended sessions, which obviously someone can use to remotely connect to the machine, and the same for Screen Connect. So we might have a possible rat issue, but obviously if you just uninstall these ones, you should be fine. Now, let's quickly see if we do have any weird startup items. Okay, so if we look at our startup items, we've got this Eco Dock. The DRP, the driver pack solution, has a startup item as well. Okay, so we have that. We can maybe just quickly check it in Virus Turtle. Then it seems like we do have fairly okay-ish samples. Startup items. The amount of samples that executed were this very similar to the same samples we used on the ESET and the Trend Micro VMs. So you can kind of compare those results with what we're going to have at the end of this test. Okay. I just want to see if that one startup item might be malicious or not. The Avast VM is also really slow. I think it's still actively trying to remove threads in the backend. Yeah, let's see if we can maybe see what this file is all about. Okay, it might it looks like it might be clean, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so this startup item might not be a problem, but obviously it can maybe be used by some other type of threat, but it doesn't seem like it's a problem on its own. Now with Process Explorer, we do obviously have the Screen Connect sessions running, but anything else doesn't seem like there's any other weird type of processes. So it seems like Avast did well in this test. Now with Defender, as you guys can see, it's just completely locked up type of error messages and pop-ups. So I think this is the end for Defender. I think I might not be able to do scans or any third-party things on Defender. So I think from going onwards to the end of the test, it will just be focused on Avast. Now for Avast, I'm going to quickly restart it, update it, do a full scan, and then we'll look at the results. Okay, guys. So Avast is still stuck on this 98% for over an hour. So I think I'll just need to force restart this machine. I'll then update the third-party apps and then scan with the results. But before I do that, let's just quickly go through our files just to see if there's not maybe any ransomware infection. None of which I can see. This is still stuck on 98, as I've mentioned. We do have a couple of low level type of issues, but these are all the remote connections. And then we have this go to resolve that's been flagged by 35 other vendors. So it's that driver pack. So a couple of vendors have rated this as malicious, including Microsoft. I do not see Avast or AVG. Now, if we look at our startup items, these are our startup items. Doesn't seem like there's anything major to worry about regarding startup items. And then we've got these remote connection tools that I've installed. So the vast majority seems to be remote connection tools. So yeah, I think that's that. I'm going to restart the VM, update the third-party apps, and then I can finalize this test. Okay, guys, so let's quickly wrap this test up. I have stopped the Malwarebytes and the ESET online scanner. The scans are just taking way too long, and I just want to wrap this test up. So let's quickly have a look at our results. With Hitman Pro, we do have this program data, app data roaming. Then we've got a file that was extracted via one of the zips. And then we've got some more files in temp, and then Avast, I think due to the fact that it got stuck on 98%, didn't quarantine a lot of the malware in our test folder. So I think that's why we do quite have a number of detections with Hitman Pro. But the vast majority of detections is from that application, but we do have this one in program data, and then a couple in app data roaming, and then roaming temp. With MPE, we only have 2 high detections. These are also in the temp folder, and then app data roaming. So this one could be a possible problem, but the temp ones are not that bad. It's normally when they're outside of the temp locations that they become a problem. App data local, here we've got a couple of JavaScripts. And close that one. With MSI we have program data. So here we've got that same Vivaldi program data. We've got app data local, that same JavaScript that Norton showed us. And then malware samples on the desktop. There's going to be quite a number of them. And that's that. So it doesn't look like it's that many outside the normal locations. With ESET, we did stop the scan because it was just taking way too long. We found that ESET also saw the Vivaldis. We have a program data here, a PowerShell script, which is a generic Trojan. Let's move that a little bit. We've got our temporary files. We've got app data roaming, so this one can be a problem. That's just my script. ESET doesn't like my script. And I think everything else is on the desktop. Let's just close that. So ESET did remove 100 and something now from the desktop. Malware bytes. We're going to look at our locations. We have Vivaldi, app data again, local temp, app data, roaming, app data. All of these should be temp locations. And then malware on the desktop, obviously. And then it seems like we've got 2 registry keys from that driver updater. So not too hectic. And then if we look at the malware sample list, we still have 618 left. Doesn't look like Avast is really detecting them if we go via the Explorer route. So it looks like it's not really detecting them as we go through them. It might remove them with a scan. And then we get this error notification every time the PC logs in. Now let's quickly look at our startup items. We have this EcoDoc, and that's about that. Process Explorer. Okay, so it says all of that's unknown. Let's submit them. Okay, while they're scanning, we'll just look at, we've got still the Screen Connect service that's running. So that can obviously be used to remotely connect to this VM. We have go to resolve as well. So they are being misused, I think. But by looking at all the other processes, I can't really find offhand something is odd while we wait for that. Let's quickly look at our install programs. Okay, so we still have this Crystal PDF. We have this later with thingy jiggy. We've got our logmeins. I've got this PowerShell. I think that's what we saw on the Trend Micro machine. And then a couple of Screen Connect sessions, and then the same X6Z. So we have a couple of things there. I think this is just gonna take too long. Look at our files. And yeah, I think we are in a not too bad shape. Okay, so let's quickly wrap this test up. The summary is with Avast, gave us some good web protection. A couple of the sites did open, but general good results with Defender. I think a lot more of the sites opened up and things like this. So Avast did a little bit better for me in the website test. When it comes to the malware test, I think it's a no-brainer that Avast definitely did much better than Defender. So I'm going to rate this as a fail for Defender, unfortunately, because if you can't use the machine, you can't get to your desktop, or if there's any type of ransomware infection, or the machine is so badly broken that you need to start fixing it, I just label that as a fail. Oh, and then the other thing is with Avast that I forgot to mention is the UAC has been switched off. So I think one of the malware samples did tamper with the UAC because UAC is definitely being deactivated. I normally leave this on. So there was definitely some form of tampering with the machine, but obviously I think a good scan and a good clean, this machine might be good to go. But otherwise, good results from Avast, although it is also just a free version, so you need to take that into account. The paid versions will obviously give you better protection in general, but from a free AV, I think you can't go wrong with Avast free. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit and like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about the test and what the results are, and which one of these two AVs you would prefer to protect your own personal information and to protect your online. It would be nice to know what you guys are using out there. Obviously, we are testing it, but hey, it would be interesting to see which of you guys are using what. I think it will be interesting to see what the vast majority of AVs you guys are using. So let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next test.